Whitney Houston quotes, "Music has no color. What is singing black? What is singing white? I still haven't learned what that meant being in the business." Those are one of the quotes from Whitney Elizabeth Houston, one of the greatest vocalists ever, one of the greatest female artists ever, period. You know, and I don't think there's been another voice of an instrument that's come along that has moved me more than hers since. I didn't always like her material. Some of it was cheesy, some of it was pizza pan, yellow pages, white pages, but she could sing the pages off. She was a true vocalist. And sometimes when you marvel at someone's talent, you might not necessarily like the totality. Don't get it twisted. But the talent was there. That voice was no joke. That's one of the best voices I ever heard straight up. And sometimes with the music, you kind of be indifferent. Some of the songs were cringy, but that's how good she was. Some of the stuff was so cringy, but she could still make it pop. But what she said was that she unfortunately had gotten booed at the Soul Train. Was it 1990? And they said her stuff was too pop and too this. But she had crossed over. She had a voice that just caught on with folks. Nowadays, those same people booing would have to boo themselves because what is pop music today? Hip hop is all pop. You don't have the blackity black, and you don't have it. Everything is all as it is. It's still segregated as all get out. But the fact is, she made standards. You know, she had a voice that was an instrument that had no bearing. If you can take a Dolly Parton's "I Always Love You" and do an a cappella, let that sink in. She came up with an a cappella for a soundtrack to a motion picture. Her first. That wasn't a gutsy call, but you better bring the goods. You better have the pipes to pull it off. Cause I'm gonna tell you, if you don't, egg is gonna land on your face. And she left it with a standard. She did it so much justice, you forgot it was done by Dolly Parton, who is considered a country pop artist, adult contemporary. Well, Whitney did the whole shebang. Turn that song out. Turn that song out. And no one can touch it like how she did it. Just like how she did The Greatest Love of All, took that from George Benson, made it her own. She took standards like the best artists do. Like the Aretha Franklins did, like the Luther Vandross did, like the Michael Jacksons did. When you take a standard and you flip it and make it your own, that's what artistry is about. People don't understand. You ain't got to write all the songs and all the credits. If you know how to do a song justice, that is the ultimate musician move right there because you're going to make it your own. And she did that. But when we get into music, does have any color. If music is music, if you can play it and you can do it. Now, the rhythms and the tones and how you go about it. But when we talk about music, it's just the same chords and strings. So it's how you interpret and how you put it down. It's the industry that puts the labels on people and they say you this and you that. But Whitney was the truth, though. She was the truth. She was a heavyweight when it came to putting it down. There was no there was no sugarcoating in terms of her vocal runs, especially in her peak and her prime. I put her almost up against anybody, and she was that legit and that good. But I like her quote though, because with music, it shouldn't be based on if you got the goods, you got the goods. We will reward you based on that merit, and that's one thing about it. She was that good, so it left a lasting impression, and it definitely had an impact. So that's how I tend to look at it, and she definitely appealed musically to a wide range, and it was always that way from day one. So anyway, please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. On my one time. Peace.